The Bison Basketball Show with NDSU head coaches Dave Richman and Jory Collins. The Bison Basketball Show is presented by Gate City Bank for a better way of life. And Pepsi.
What's going on, Bison Nation? Welcome into another edition of the Bison Basketball Show, along with NDSU men's head coach Dave Richman. I'm Sam Neidermann. Coach Richman, welcome back home to Fargo. Going to be at home this week. Good to see you, my friend.
It feels about right for December 15th, 16th, Sam. Yeah, we're finally getting some weather, but it's certainly going to be good to be home for a stretch after a split of a weekend. You know, when you go on the road, you hope for two in a row, but if you can get a split, it's a good weekend. Let's make it crystal clear. We're not in this for good. We're in for great, and we need to get back home and then take care of business this week.
Well, let's take a look at what happened last weekend, Coach. A pair of overtime battles in conference play. Thursday night against Kansas City. This one came down to the wire. 2 minutes to go in regulation. We're down by 4. Jory White hits a big three to pull us within 1. Walk me through it. What allowed the team to pull through and extend the game there?
I tell you what, the ticket people, administration, the concessions people, they like us. We have a way to make it entertaining and give our guys a ton of credit. Certainly we were coming in losers of 5 in a row with plenty of adversity, and we could have folded plenty of times, but that shot by Jory and a number of other plays showed a tremendous resiliency from our group, a lot of fight, and extremely proud of the way we responded in those moments, and we're able to ultimately come out with a 1-point victory.
And you got it done with defense, Coach. Yeah. Had to make stops at the end of regulation, end of overtime, and double OT.
Got to make that a consistent staple for 40 minutes, or in that case for 50 minutes. But in each of those cases, needing a stop to force overtime, to force another overtime, or to ultimately get the victory was terrific to see, because those are adverse situations. Those are uncomfortable situations. And I thought our guys responded in a tremendous way.
You guys had double OT, were tied up, and Noah Feddersen hits the 2 biggest shots of the night. A pair of threes for your big man. What was going through your mind when you saw Noah first bank one in and then nail the second?
I don't know. Thursday night at about 9 o'clock if the bank is open, but it was this past Thursday night. And Noah hit a couple big ones earlier in the game, but none bigger than those 2 back-to-back. And Noah's got that ability, versatility to stretch a defense and make some interesting plays like that for a 5-man, when I say interesting. And we needed it. We needed every bit of it, and it was encouraging and happy for Noah to see those big threes go in.
He finished with a career-high 18, 92-91, the final score there, Coach. Taking a look at the final numbers from this game, knew it was going to be a battle on the glass, and you out-rebound Kansas City 40-37. How about that?
You know what kind of respect I have for Coach Menzies and how he builds his team and how big and physical they are. And we knew going into that game, like, offensive rebounding for them was going to be a key, and then thus defensive rebounding for us needed to be a huge emphasis. And to hold them, I believe, to 9 in the double overtime game was great. Our guys showed, again, the tremendous resiliency and fight to finish that game, but also the tremendous resiliency and fight throughout the game to win the glass.
And you look at the final stats, too. Bodin Scumberg, 23 points. Andrew Morgan, 17 points. Coming off the bench, Coach, he was 7 of 8 from the field. Yeah,
both those 2 in the last couple of weeks have responded tremendously from their own adversity, and very, very pleased. And we're learning things along the way. Sometimes you got to learn the hard way. I thought Morgs was terrific. He wanted the ball, demanded the ball, and most importantly was able to finish.
Coach, fast forwarded to Saturday, another overtime game, this time in Omaha. Unfortunately, weren't able to get the result. Let's start with getting off to a good start from Jory White again. He finished this game 15, 6, and 6, a career high in assists with 6. How about what Jory was able to do, give a spark in that first half?
Yeah, and again, you know me, the defensive-minded guy that I am, the finish kind of guy that I am, to get 6 rebounds too was terrific for Jory, and he's continuing to find his way. He's continuing to grow and mature. And it's encouraging to see, because he's got some tremendous versatility and who he can guard and how he can get to the rim offensively, and then to see him shoot it in too was great. Proud of Jory.
Down by 2 at the break, 41-39, and then the team comes out with a barrage of threes. Hit 7 of 8 threes at one point. Damari Wheeler-Thomas had a stretch where he scored 11 in a row for the team. That was able to fuel a lead. How about that stretch?
Yeah, again, from a fan's perspective, it had to have been a terrific game. Just a game of runs and big plays and big shots and all those things. Now, we've got to find a way to be 1 point better in those things. But there was just a lot of big-time plays on both ends, and Damari got hot. That was great to see. He works tirelessly, in particular at that three, and that's a big part of the spacing for who we are offensively. But to go on the road and put yourselves in that position is encouraging, but not good enough. We give up 96 again, and we've got to continue to find ways, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, throughout the week in our preparation and to get better defensively.
Coach, the final sequence here in Omaha, you had a chance to win there, unable to get a shot up. Walk me through it. What was the adjustment that needed to be made in order to get a shot up in that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, it was a play that, Coach Strege had drawn up that we were just successful in executing. We weren't able to get to that. That's the reality of it. And it's unfortunate circumstances. We need to put ourselves in a position throughout the other 39 minutes and how many seconds to not rely on that last second and to not rely on some things that are outside of our control. And bottom line is we weren't able to get it done. We need to make sure throughout the course of 40 minutes we're making every moment matter. 96-92
the final score in Omaha in overtime. Now, Coach, you got a pair at home, starting with Denver on Thursday night, top scoring offense in the league with a terrific player in Bruner, and then it'll be Oral Roberts on Saturday. Talk about the challenges that we'll have here inside the Shack.
Well, clearly Jeff looks like he's doing a tremendous job with this group, and he's got them in a position, tied for first in the league, and you can already start positioning yourselves with those things, and they're playing really well offensively to beat South Dakota State the way they did. Obviously, they've got our full attention. Oral Roberts, we know who they are. We know the tradition and history behind it, especially in their recent successes. But as you know what's coming next out of my mouth. This is Bison. Bison. We've got to continue to work through a better version of us. And what is that? That's being better defensively and making teams earn things, making it matter just a little bit more to us. And that's a challenge and a charge, and it's going to take some courage by us this week, but we're excited for all those things.
Coach, looking forward to being back on the home floor. Appreciate the time. We'll see you Thursday night.
Thank you, Sam.
Always a pleasure. Coach Dave Richman here with us on the Bison Basketball Show. We're going to take a timeout. More to come when we come back.
Better starts with convenience. Better starts with trust. You can trust that your pre-approval is guaranteed on closing day, which is one less thing to worry about. Better starts with saving you money. No ATM fees and no minimum balances mean how you spend your money is up to you. Because at Gate City Bank, better starts with you. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
Champions work hard and champions play hard, but none of it happens without the rest and recovery that comes from a good night's sleep. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems is the official sleep partner of the NDSU Bison, and just like the Herd, they're a proud company founded in North Dakota with North Dakota values and tradition. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems is a third-generation company now at the showroom in Fargo, offering premium mattresses to help you take your sleep seriously. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems, located on 13th Avenue. You're going to love sleeping with us. Champions work hard and champions play hard, but none of it happens without the rest and recovery that comes from a good night's sleep. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems is the official sleep partner of the NDSU Bison, and just like the Herd, they're a proud company founded in North Dakota with North Dakota values and tradition. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems is a third-generation company now at the showroom in Fargo, offering premium mattresses to help you take your sleep seriously. Accord Comfort Sleep Systems, located on 13th Avenue. You're going to love sleeping with us.
A better way of life is better days off and better nights in. Better hellos and better goodbyes. With locally approved, financed, and serviced home loans, Gate City Bank makes buying a home simple. Welcome home. Gate City Bank, for a better way of life.
Hey, Bison Nation, what's going on? We are hanging out courtside with NDSU redshirt freshman Noah Feddersen. And Noah, first year in college basketball for you. You were with the team last year, redshirted. This year, your first year on the court. How would you describe what you've gotten under your belt so far playing with the team?
Yeah, it was kind of nice last year being able to travel with the team and getting to see what college basketball is like. And then this year getting into it, getting used to the speed of college basketball and all of that stuff. So it's been a lot of learning and a lot of just new things and getting used to it, but feeling pretty good now.
First game of the year was at Western Michigan, an overtime thriller, and we ended up pulling out the victory. What was going through your mind as not only you played your first career game, but you made your first career start?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome to be able to start my first ever game, being there right away at the start of the game. And I do remember just everything being super fast and really hectic, but, as the games have gone on, it's only gotten better.
Now, you've been on an uphill trajectory for sure. I mean, one of your first breakout games was right here inside the Shack, San Jose State at home. Another overtime victory. At the time, it was a career-high 17 points. What was that moment like, playing in front of Bison Nation and getting to kind of have your coming-out party?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. We had been on the road for a couple games and then come back home and play in front of all the fans. It was a great crowd, and that really just got me going.
You've been able to not only produce down on the block near the basket, but also stretching the floor a little bit, hitting some threes. Was that something that had always been a part of your game at high school, or is it developed here into this year only?
Definitely not. In high school I didn't shoot actually a lot of threes. But since coming here, the coaches have been working with me on that, working on my form, and I've just been in the gym a ton, getting shots up. So then when I get in games, I can knock those down.
Two of the biggest ones of the season came at Kansas City. You banked the first one in double overtime. Now we went over this. You didn't call bank, but we'll let it pass for this one. And then you nailed the second one. How much confidence does it take to step up and knock down those shots in a big moment like that?
Yeah, I know. It definitely takes a lot. I missed a couple earlier in the game, made a couple earlier in the game, and they just kept telling me, keep shooting, you're open, you're going to make them. So hearing that from your coaches and from your teammates is huge in those moments.
Keep up the great work out there. Appreciate the time, Noah, and go Bison.
Thank you. Go Bison.
Noah Feddersen here with us courtside on the Bison Basketball Show. We'll have much more coverage of Bison Hoops as we continue on throughout the season. We'll talk to you guys soon.
There's something new near NDSU. First Western Banking Trust now has a location on the Bison block, right where you need them to be.
Introducing our newest location, right across from campus. Same great service and same great people you can count on. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
PetroServe USA gets the job done, giving you a peace of mind for all your propane needs. We provide scheduled home delivery, competitive pricing, and expert customer service from our knowledgeable techs. Call or go online today to learn more about our propane services and how convenient it is to order and pay online at PetroServeUSA.com. Your member-owned cooperative, PetroServe USA, helping America feel better. Call today.
This is Jack. Jack has a debit card from Gate City Bank. Jack likes to use his debit card because he earns points for every dollar he spends. When these points add up, they're redeemable for thousands of different rewards, like travel, cash back, or gift cards to his favorite restaurant. Whatever Jack chooses, he can earn rewards he loves just by using his debit card. So be like Jack and earn points today at gatecity.bank/enroll.
Back at it here on the Bison Basketball Show, along with NDSU women's coach Jory Collins. I'm Sam Neidermann. Coach Collins, great to see you, and congratulations, building a little bit of a winning streak here, 3 in a row for your squad.
Good to see you, Sam. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's been, it's a good homestand for us. So always excited to play in the Shack. Was glad we played well and got the job done.
Yeah, certainly always play well here on our home floor. Let's take a look back at what happened last weekend in conference. Kansas City Thursday night, a team that we know well, played them last year down in Sioux Falls. Chance to avenge that result. Got off to a tough start, Coach. 17-3 in the first quarter.
That was an understatement. A ton of respect for Kansas City and how they play. They came in and really took it right to us. In the first, I think they scored on their first 5 possessions and pressured us out of everything we were trying to do. And the first quarter was a struggle. So hopefully really good learning experience. I was really proud of our team for battling back. I thought the next 3 quarters we settled in. But we got punched in the mouth in the first 5-6 minutes of the game and had to respond. And those are situations you want to be able to grow from and learn from, and I think we will.
Indeed. You got a little bit of a run before halftime, 31-26 at the break. What was the message to the team to come out there and take it in the second half?
Yeah, just get back to trying to be ourselves. We had to change defenses. We played a half-court trap for, majority of the game, probably from the second quarter on, which is something we hadn't done yet. So something a little bit different for us. But it was effective. I think it disrupted them offensively and allowed us to get some turnovers and some transitions, some easier baskets than we were getting in the half court. And just making sure that they were staying tough with that and knowing what their assignments were. We kind of had to piece that one together to get the win. And like I said, those are things that they're not all going to be pretty. They're not all going to be easy. Having to find a way and do it a little bit differently, I think will pay off for us later.
You had multiple players step up and contribute, and it started with Abbie Draper in this one, Coach. She put up 18 points. What did you think about Abbie's performance?
I'm so proud of Abbie Draper. She is really kind of settled in at our 5 spot and has been pretty efficient and has been pretty consistent for us here after Christmas. And she's just such a good finisher in and around the basket, and she's finding ways to not only score in and around the basket, but her rebounding, her post defense has gotten tremendously better. Her situational awareness on the defensive end has gotten better. She's become pretty invaluable to us.
No doubt about it, Coach. And you look at it, you're able to finish it out, 63-60 win over the Roos. Taking a look at Heaven Hamling, Elle Evans, both of them contributed 16 and 17 respectively. How big were they in this game?
Well, we needed them. Obviously it was a low-scoring game, 63-60, and we had to play that out in the fourth quarter really situationally down the stretch in the last 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes, and timeouts and advancing, and we haven't had to do that, with this group this year very much at all. So that was great. Those two, we wouldn't have been in that situation without them being able to knock down some shots and do what they do. When those two play well, we know we always have a chance, and it was great that they were able to play pretty good second halves there and give us a chance to win that game.
Turn it around after the victory, Coach. Saturday against Omaha, looking to sweep the weekend in conference play. You did just that, an 87-69 win. Started off good in the first half. We're able to race out and get a big lead.
Yeah, I did a little small celebration when we got our first basket in the first quarter, and we started that game well. I think, had a 25-point first quarter. I will tell you, I was a little disappointed. I felt like we settled in that game and didn't play our best the second, third, and fourth quarter. I thought we kind of put it in cruise control and didn't really, play 4 quarters like we were capable of. So again, another game where, you're very blessed and glad to get the win, but also I think there's plenty from that game that we're going to be able to take away and learn from going forward. We're not going to be able to play that way. UNL was super aggressive. They went to the free throw line 37 times on our home floor. We can't do that on the road this weekend and come away with wins. So always learning things, with our young group and how to handle situations, and but so proud of them for taking care of business on our home court and getting those 3 wins in a row. Now we got to go do it on the road.
Absolutely, Coach. You look at it, before we shift gears to what we've got this weekend with Denver and ORU, 18-1 here inside the Shack dating back to last season. How big is that to be able to defend your home floor?
Yeah, I saw that stat the other day and I was like, we'll take that. That's pretty good. I think it's just something we take some pride in. We love our fans. We had great turnout this weekend. It was awesome to see people in the stands and have the band back here after Christmas and just have the energy and juice in the building. And for whatever reason, our kids really embrace it, and they like showing off for our home crowd, and have just been fortunate to play really well here. We want this to be a home court advantage. We want this to be the toughest place to play in the league, and we're working towards that, and it's our job to go out and play well and make that happen.
Coach, you take your winning streak on the road now. Going to go to Denver and then Oral Roberts Thursday and Saturday. Tell me about those two opponents.
Yeah, Denver is, I think they lead the league in three-point shot attempts. They are a kind of a 3-and-D team and will get up a ton of them. And if they're making them, then you're in trouble. So our sense of urgency going to their building where most people shoot a little better at home, guarding the three-point line is going to be really big for us in that game. And then Oral Roberts is playing terrific this year. They've got some new players in mixed with their second year for their coaching staff, so a little continuity coming into this year. But really, really talented players, really, really good offensive team. Our defense will be tested all weekend long on the road.
Coach, no doubt about it, going to be a fun weekend. Another good challenge. Try and boost the winning streak up from 3. Appreciate your time. Good luck out there and safe travels.
You bet. Thank you, Sam.
Always a pleasure with Coach Collins here on the Bison Basketball Show. We got much more to come. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
PetroServe USA gets the job done, giving you a peace of mind for all your propane needs. We provide scheduled home delivery, competitive pricing, and expert customer service from our knowledgeable techs. Call or go online today to learn more about our propane services and how convenient it is to order and pay online at PetroServeUSA.com. Your member-owned cooperative, PetroServe USA, helping America fuel better. Call today.
Teamwork, talent, dedication, leadership. These values build community, improve lives, and make a difference every single day. For you, for our neighbors, for our community, for a better way of life. Gate City Bank.
There's something new near NDSU. First Western Banking Trust now has a location on the Bison block, right where you need them to be.
Introducing our newest location, right across from campus. Same great service and same great people you can count on. First Western Bank and Trust. You can bank on us.
Opened up.
Draper, a high arcing 3 is good. What a start to the second half for Abbie Draper. Evans comes up with it. Draper collects again, and a foul. What a second half. Draper will go right to the basket and a chance at a three-point play.
What's going on, Bison Nation? Welcome back on into the Bison Basketball Show. We're here with NDSU junior Abbie Draper. Abbie, great to see you. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. It's great to have you here on the show. Pretty crazy that you're in your second year here with NDSU, junior year overall in college basketball. Tell me about what made NDSU a good fit for you coming here.
I mean, when I first got here, my brother-in-law is an alum, and he's from North Fargo, so that was kind of like a big choice of why I came here, and he kind of like influenced me in the transfer portal to come, so.
Awesome. Now, the rest is history. You're not only the only one here at NDSU, but your family has also moved here to Fargo. What's it like having them here in town to support you?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I go there almost like every single day. They live out in South Fargo, so it's kind of a drive, but like not anything close to 6.5 hours or whatever when they're back in home in Iowa. But it's amazing. They come and support me at every game. Even they travel, and my mom even was able to change jobs and everything to be able to come do it. So.
Your home state is Iowa. from Waverly, Iowa. Tell me a little bit about your hometown and where you grew up.
I mean, small town in Iowa. I mean, I loved it. I loved how small it was and the community there, but I was kind of glad to get out of the state and be able to meet new people and have new experiences. So.
Tell me about how you first got into basketball, Abbie. What got you into the sport? How did you first pick up a ball?
I mean, I was a soccer girl through and through until my sister actually was playing basketball. She's 4 years older than me. And, like, she just loved it, like, so much. And I always looked up to her. So that was mainly the reason why I just kind of wanted to be just like her.
Awesome. How do you model your game after anybody? Did you have any, like, favorite players growing up?
Basically her. I just looked after her. I would shoot with her and my dad all the time, and I mean, she went and played college basketball at Wayne State, which is a Division II, for a year, and then transferred to Wartburg in her hometown. And I just wanted to be just like her, so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's always good to have sibling influence.
Yep.
You've gone from coming off of the bench last year, your first year with the Bison, to being in the starting lineup this year. Tell me about how you've been able to grow into this squad and where you think you've made a jump from year one with NDSU to now.
I mean, I also changed positions this year, so I was the 4 last year, and I'm playing the 5 now, which is a big difference. But mainly, I've learned to be able to play more back to basket, and I feel like that's helped a lot. And it's just, I feel like I just had to make a big confidence jump as well.
Awesome. Team's on a 3-game winning streak right now. Before we wrap up, tell me about what you guys are looking to do to keep the momentum here as we continue conference play.
I mean, we just want to keep the game streak. I think we know what we have to do to be able to do that, and a lot of it is playing together and having just playing together and being able to push through that. We got a young team and a small team as well, so we just got to be able to do that. So
that's certainly been working so far. Yeah. Abbie, appreciate you taking the time today. Good luck the rest of this season, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Awesome. For Abbie Draper, I'm Sam Neidermann.
The Bison Basketball Show is presented by Gate City Bank, for a better way of life. And Pepsi.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.